Boo! Welcome to Hobbyist Extraordinaire. Today's hobby is painting these gory Halloween press-on nails. Gonna jump right into it with, of course, Holo Taco 1-Coat Black as my base coat on all of my nails. Wrap the tip. Now, once I've got my 1-Coat Black on all of my nails, I'm taking See Y'all Later Chai, another Holo Taco, and I'm just gonna put that on a couple of nails on both sides. Then I'm going to take Holo Taco Not Pressed, and I'm going to use this as like a zombie Frankenstein green. I put a layer on each of the other nails, and I just put one layer and like kind of made it thin so you could kind of see the black underneath. And then I took Brick Wall, another Holo Taco. And I'm getting my brush as dry as I can possibly get it. And I'm going to dry brush Brick Wall all over the nude nails to kind of give it a little bit of a blood splatter appearance. And once I'm satisfied with the first color, I'm going to go back in with Devil's Advocate, another Holo Taco, and I'm going to do the same thing. Dry the brush out as much as I can, and then just dry brush the little bit onto the nail to give it that kind of blood splatter smear look. And in some spots, I even put a little extra and then would pat it with my finger to kind of smudge it out and give it like a finger print vibe in there. Then I took Holo Taco Foreshadow, which is kind of a warm gray, and I'm putting that over the green zombie looking nails to give it more of a dead look. I'm dry brushing that on as well. Now I'm taking Holo Taco Cracked Taco Shell. These are going to go on those zombie nails to give kind of a decaying, decrepit skin look to these zombie-ish nails. Now I'm using Finger Paint's gel-like top coat just to seal in all of the stuff that I did so far. Time for the craft paint. I used this red to create like a scar, open wound kind of thing on two of the zombie nails. So I use this first red as just a base layer for the wound. Then I'm going to go in with this slightly darker red, and I'm going to go over the top of that on both of these nails as well. This gives it a little bit more depth than just one color. So then I took those two reds, added a little bit of black to get this darker, dried, blood-ish color, and I'm using that to paint these blood drops like dripping from the cuticle on the nail. Now I'm taking that same darker red color and creating those same drips on the two thumbnails. and slap a top coat on top to kind of seal that acrylic paint in. Then we're going to go back in with brick wall, going in with a third layer. You can kind of see where there's already been a little bit of added depth to the wound because I did 2 different colors, and this is just going to amplify that even more. Sorry for the shaky camera. I have dogs. That's all I got. They have no respect for my personal space. It's fine. And then I took Devil's Advocate and did the same thing on top for that final layer to kind of give it that 3D-ish actual open wound look. Then I blended these 2 craft paints to create a second layer for my blood drips to kind of do the same thing that I did with the wound and give it some kind of depth to those blood drips, kind of like on the open wound. And made sure to put another top coat on to seal in all of the craft paint. And now for my first time ever playing around with any kind of 3D nail gels, so please don't roast me. I did do some of these off camera because I wasn't about to torture anyone with the footage of my complications, so you are only seeing the ones that I had the easiest time making. I just scooped some out of the jar, did a little roly-poly into a ball, and then set it on the nail. And actually, before curing it, I did let it sit for a moment and let gravity kind of do its thing and let it round it out a little bit on the edges. And then I went ahead and cured that for an unnecessarily long amount of time. And then I wanted to do little eyeball clusters on 2 of the other nails, so I just did the same thing, but a lot smaller. And cure that straight to the nail again. Then I just took this silver craft paint and I wanted to create what looks like little staples over the open wound. Then I just took some white craft paint and covered up my eyeballs. I did this on all of the eyeballs. Then I just took this blue to create an iris on half of the eyeballs on the nails. I did do this with a detail brush because I'm an idiot. And then I grabbed this brown and the dotting tool that I just remembered I had and did the same thing on the other side with the brown. I did this on all of the small eyeballs as well, and I chose blue and brown because that's the color of my dog's eyes. And then I just took this red craft paint to make the eyes look more bloodshot. And I repeated that on all of the eyeballs. Now I just took this black craft paint and with the dotting tool created a pupil on all of the eyeballs. Now I'm taking my blended red craft paints and I'm just going to create little blood drips as well as blood all the way around all of the eyeballs. Hello, shaky camera. Thank you, dogs. So my camera shakes like that because the mount is connected to my desk, and my desk butts up against the back of my couch. So anytime my dogs are just living their best lives and having a grand old time on the couch, they tend to shake my camera. I don't have the heart to fuss at them because they're just so happy, and that makes me happy. And then I took a slightly lighter combination of those red craft paints and went back over all of my blood drips and everything around the eyeballs to give it some more depth like on the other nails. Now I'm taking this Finger Paints top coat, which I really enjoy, and I'm just going to seal everything in. I wasn't exactly sure how to do that around the 3D elements of the nails because this was my first time using that technique at all. So I just slathered the top coat all over the eyeball and tried to get in the nooks and crannies around the edges and everything to really make sure all of that craft paint is sealed in, because it is water-based. So if anything leaks under your top coat, like you haven't sealed it in perfectly, it will disappear when you wash your hands and stuff like that. So I felt like it was important just to make sure I got as much top coat as I could all around those edges on the eyeballs. Et voila, gory horror Halloween nails. I had so much fun playing around with the 3D nail gel to try and create these eyeballs, and I really like how they turned out. I really love how the top coat makes them look like shiny, slimy little eyeballs. These are gross, and I love them. Thank you so much for joining me to create these gory horror Halloween nails today. I had so much fun coming up with different creative ways to try and accomplish the look that I wanted with these, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. They're gross and I love them. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It is free. And also please feel free to leave any kind of constructive criticism. I am so incredibly new to creating videos at all. This is only my second YouTube video. So any criticism, advice, whether it's about the videos, the nails, literally anything at all, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And I hope that you will join me in all of my future hobbies here at Hobbyist Extraordinaire. Again, thank you so much. Happy Halloween. Thank you.